Let them go and be happy alone, you know. There comes a time in your life when holding on does more harm than letting go. We spend so much of our energy trying to convince people to love us, to see our worth, to stay. We bend, we shrink, we explain, we chase. And still, some people just won't choose us. And here's the truth, that's okay, because not everyone is meant to walk with you for the whole journey. Some are only there for a season. Some are teachers in disguise, some were never meant to stay. They were just meant to show you something about yourself, and when they go, it's not your job to chase after them. Your job is to bless their path and continue walking yours. You have the right to protect your peace. You have the right to choose joy over chaos, growth over guilt, healing over history, and listen, being alone doesn't mean being empty. It means you finally have space. Space to breathe, space to rediscover who you are without the noise, space to dream again, to rebuild, to rise. So let them go. Let go of the need to be understood by people who were never meant to understand you. Let go of the love that felt like a war zone. Let go of the friendships that always left you drained. Let go of anyone who made you feel like you were too much or not enough. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are a whole, radiant, worthy soul just as you are, and sometimes being alone is the most sacred, powerful chapter of your life. So if someone walks away from you, hold the door open, wish them well, and then get busy becoming everything they didn't see in you. You don't need them to complete you. You were already whole. Not everyone is meant to stay. People come into your life for reasons, seasons, or lessons. Some are only temporary, and it's okay to release them without guilt. Letting go protects your peace. Holding on to unhealthy relationships drains your energy and blocks your growth. Letting go is a form of self-respect and healing. Alone doesn't mean lonely. Being alone is an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, rediscover your strength, and create space for joy, clarity, and purpose. You are already whole. Your worth isn't defined by who stays or leaves. You don't need others to complete you. You are already enough as you are. Would you like these points turned into slides or visuals for a presentation or video? You know, one of the hardest truths we ever have to face is this: not everyone is meant to stay. We live in a world that teaches us to hold on, to keep proving our value, to make things work. We're told that love means endurance, that friendship means loyalty no matter what, and that family is forever. So we carry people with us, sometimes far past their expiration date in our lives, because we've convinced ourselves that letting go means failure, that releasing someone is giving up. But I want to challenge that belief today. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to walk with you all the way to the end. Some people are simply passing through. They are messengers, mirrors, lessons wrapped in the disguise of love, attraction, loyalty, or shared history. And when their purpose in your life is done, the relationship begins to shift. Sometimes it's subtle, a distance, a disconnect, a change in energy. Other times it's dramatic, an argument, a betrayal, a sudden silence. But either way, the truth is revealed. They're not meant to stay, and that's not something to grieve. It's something to understand. Because here's the reality: you are growing, you are evolving. You are not the same person you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And if you're truly on a journey of becoming, of healing, of rising, of stepping into your purpose, then some relationships will simply not fit anymore. They belonged to a version of you that no longer exists, and trying to drag those people with you into your next chapter only delays your growth, only prolongs the pain. We often cling to people out of habit or fear or the memory of who they once were to us. but we've been friends since high school. But he was there for me during that hard time. But she's family, and those things may all be true. They might have loved you deeply. They might have shown up for you once. They might still mean well. But if the relationship is now filled with tension, misunderstanding, neglect, or pain, if you feel like you have to shrink yourself to stay connected, then it is no longer love. It is obligation, and life is too short to live in relationships that require you to abandon yourself. I want you to understand something deeply today. It is not your job to carry people who refuse to walk. It is not your job to save people who don't want to change, and it is not your job to keep sacrificing your peace so that someone else can be comfortable in your presence. Your growth will make people uncomfortable. Your healing will make people defensive. Your evolution might be a threat to those who benefit from your wounds. And when that happens, when someone starts pulling away, shutting down, or choosing to walk out of your life, let them. Let them go, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with grace. Because if they were meant to be part of your next level, they would align with your growth, not resist it. If they were meant to be in your future, they would meet you in your becoming, not ask you to stay small. Sometimes letting someone go is the most loving thing you can do, not just for you, but for them. When you release someone, you give both of you the freedom to find what truly fits. You free yourself to attract relationships rooted in mutual respect, depth, and growth. And you free them to discover their own journey separate from yours. And listen, don't confuse letting go with hatred. You don't have to turn cold or hard. You can let go and still love someone from a distance. You can let go and still wish them healing. You can let go and still honor the role they played in your story. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the memories or pretending it never mattered. It means you recognize that the chapter is over and you are brave enough to put the book down. There is strength in that kind of release, a quiet strength, a sacred strength. Because when you finally stop holding on to people who no longer serve your journey, you begin to notice something powerful: peace. Space, lightness, the ability to breathe again, the ability to pour into yourself. And that's when your real life begins to bloom. That's when you start attracting people who love you for who you are now, not who you used to be. People who don't need to be convinced of your worth. People who are aligned with your energy, your values, your vision. People who walk beside you, not behind you or against you. So yes, it might hurt at first. The empty space they leave might feel unbearable, but trust me, it's not the end, it's an invitation, an opening, a clearing for what's meant for you. Let them go, and trust that what's coming will honor the person you are becoming. There's a sacred kind of peace that comes when you stop fighting for a place in someone's life who doesn't know how to make room for you. You might not feel it right away. At first, it can feel like loss, like failure, like you've given up. But with time, with reflection, you realize something profound. You were never at peace when you were fighting to stay connected. You were anxious, you were drained, you were shrinking. You were editing your words, walking on eggshells, just trying to hold something together that was already falling apart. We glorify holding on. We're told that love is about loyalty, persistence, effort. And yes, love does require effort, but not suffering. Not sacrificing your sanity, not staying in spaces where you feel invisible, undervalued, or emotionally exhausted. There is a difference between growing through tough seasons with someone and being caught in a cycle that chips away at your spirit. The truth is, peace is expensive, and some people, some relationships, some dynamics, they are too costly, not in dollars, but in energy, in clarity, in self, worth, in sleep, in joy. And you have to start asking yourself, is holding on to this person, this connection, this constant back and forth, worth the price I keep paying? We don't ask that enough. Instead, we make excuses for the chaos. We justify the confusion. It's just a rough patch. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. They're going through something. And while compassion is beautiful, it should not be used to cover up pain. Compassion is not a reason to abandon yourself. When you stay in places that disturb your peace, you begin to normalize dysfunction. You begin to confuse anxiety with passion, inconsistency with intensity. You start believing that love must always be hard, that being close to someone always comes with emotional exhaustion. But I'm here to tell you that's not love. That's emotional survival. Real love feels safe. It feels like deep breaths and soft landings. It feels like being seen without having to perform. It feels like being able to exhale in someone's presence, not brace yourself. And the only way to make space for that kind of love is by letting go of what is not that. Protecting your peace sometimes means making the hard decision, the unpopular decision, the one that doesn't make sense to the outside world. People might not understand why you walked away. They might think you're being dramatic or selfish or cold, but they don't know what it cost you to stay. They weren't in your head when you replayed every conversation, trying to figure out if you were the problem. They weren't in your heart when it broke a little more each time you were dismissed, disrespected, or disregarded. So if you're waiting for permission to walk away from something that steals your peace, here it is. You're allowed to let go. You're allowed to choose quiet over conflict. You're allowed to choose calm over chaos. You're allowed to choose you. Choosing yourself is not betrayal. It's not abandonment. It's not giving up on love. It's returning home to your own soul, to your own needs, to your own truth. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away so you can finally breathe again. We talk a lot about chasing happiness, about becoming our best selves, but none of that can happen in environments that drain us. Growth doesn't happen when you're constantly in survival mode. Healing doesn't happen when you're constantly being triggered. You cannot build a beautiful life while constantly trying to patch up broken pieces of something that keeps hurting you. Letting go is not just about removing people. Sometimes it's about removing dynamics. Expectations, obligations that were never yours to carry. It's about setting boundaries that keep you aligned with your values and your worth. It's about creating a life where you wake up and your soul feels light, not heavy. And no, it's not always easy. There may be tears. There may be doubt. There may be moments when you question if you made the right choice. But in the stillness, when the noise quiets and the chaos fades, you'll feel something different. You'll feel peace returning, softly at first, then stronger. That's how you'll know. You'll start to sleep better, breathe deeper, smile more. You'll start to hear your own voice again, not just the voice of someone else telling you who to be. You'll feel yourself slowly coming back to life, and that's the gift of letting go. It's not just about losing someone. It's about finding yourself. When you protect your peace, you protect your power. You protect your presence. You show the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are no longer available for anything that costs your soul its rest. So if you're standing at that edge, unsure whether to let go, ask yourself one simple question: do I feel peace here? And if the answer is no, then you already know what to do. There's a moment, after the letting go, after the goodbye, after the silence settles in, when it's just you, no texts, no calls, no distractions from someone else's drama or mood swings or needs. And at first, that silence can feel deafening, like loneliness, like emptiness, like abandonment. But let me tell you something that may just change how you see that moment. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. We confuse the two all the time, especially when we've been taught to believe our value comes from being connected to someone else. We were raised to believe that having someone by your side, whether it's a partner, a friend, a group, even a crowd, somehow validates our worth. That a quiet phone means we're not loved, that a solo dinner means we're unwanted, that an empty room means something is wrong with us. But that's a lie. Aloneness is not a punishment, it's a pause. A sacred, necessary pause where the most powerful things begin to happen. Not out there, but in here, inside you, because when you're finally alone, truly alone, you start to hear the voice that's been drowned out for too long, your own. That voice that used to whisper in between all the noise. It becomes clearer. You begin to feel your own rhythms again. You remember what you love, what you dream of, what brings you peace. Not because someone else told you, but because you feel it for yourself. That morning walk, that quiet coffee, that long shower where no one interrupts, that playlist that speaks to your soul, the sunlight on your skin without anyone else watching, these are not lonely moments. These are holy moments, moments of restoration, moments of remembering, because when you're always with others, especially those who don't truly see or value you, you begin to disappear, slowly, quietly. Piece by piece, you adjust, you contort, you mold yourself into versions that keep the peace or get approval. You start asking questions like, is this okay to say? Will they be mad if I don't respond? What if they leave if I show who I really am? But when you're alone, those questions fade, and in their place comes a beautiful, quiet certainty. You are enough. You begin to build a relationship with yourself, and it is the most important relationship you will ever have. Because here's the truth that no one teaches us growing up. You can't truly love anyone else until you know how to love yourself in your solitude, not in your performance, not in your productivity, not in your popularity, but in your stillness, in your quiet, in your unfiltered, unedited existence. That's where confidence is born, not in applause, but in the silence after. That's where worth is discovered, not when someone says, I choose you, but when you choose yourself. And when you start to fall in love with your own company, something magical happens. Your standards rise. You stop settling. You stop begging for breadcrumbs. You stop chasing people who can't see past their own reflection. Because you've tasted the sweetness of your own peace, and suddenly chaos becomes unattractive. You start to realize, if I can be happy on my own, then anyone who wants to come into my life better be adding to it, not subtracting from it. You begin to protect your energy like sacred ground. You begin to honor your space like it's holy, because it is. You begin to say no without guilt, to rest without shame, to dream without asking for permission. And yes, there might be lonely nights. There might be moments when you wish you had someone's hand to hold, someone to laugh with, someone to share that sunset. That's human. That's normal. But don't confuse that fleeting ache with a permanent truth. You are not empty. You are not alone because you're unworthy. You are alone because you are in a season of becoming, a season where your soul is expanding, where your heart is healing, where your vision is clearing. And you can't rush that process. You can't fill it with noise. You can't replace it with just anyone. You have to sit with yourself and trust that you are enough company, the right people, those who match your energy, respect your journey, and honor your growth. They will come. But they will not complete you. They will complement you, because by then you will already be whole. So don't run from the silence. Don't fear the alone time, that solitude you're in. It's not the end of something. It's the beginning of everything. One of the most powerful truths I want to share with you today is this. You are already whole. In a world that often tells us we need to be fixed, that we need to be more, that we need to seek validation from outside ourselves, this truth might be hard to grasp. We are constantly fed messages that we are incomplete without someone, something, or some achievement. We are told that we need to earn our worth, that our value is conditional, that happiness is somewhere out there waiting for us to reach it. But I'm here to tell you something different. You don't need anyone or anything to complete you. You are not broken. You are not missing parts. You are already enough as you are, right here, right now. You don't need to keep chasing after something or someone to feel whole. You are not a puzzle waiting to be pieced together. You are not a blank slate waiting for someone to write your story. Your worth is not contingent on external approval or anyone's love. The belief that you need to be fixed often comes from the idea that you're not enough, that you're lacking something essential. We believe we need to change, to be more, to prove ourselves to the world. But this thinking only leads us down a path of constant striving, of never feeling like we've arrived. We give away our power to the external, and in the process, we forget to honor the beautiful, powerful truth that resides within us. You are already whole. Let that sink in for a moment. You are not less because of your past. You are not incomplete because of your mistakes, your setbacks, your heartbreaks. The pain you've experienced, the moments you've stumbled, those are not marks of your inadequacy. They are the chapters of your story that have shaped you into who you are today. The truth is, growth doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means becoming more of who you already are. It's about uncovering the truth of your essence, shedding the layers that don't serve you, and stepping into the fullness of your being. When you know that you are already whole, you stop looking for others to fill the spaces within you. Instead, you begin to look inward. You start to honor your emotions, your dreams, your needs, your boundaries, because you realize they matter, not because anyone else tells you they do, but because you know they do. When you truly accept that you are whole, the need for external validation fades. You no longer feel like you have to chase after approval, recognition, or love, because, my friend, you are the approval you've been seeking. You are the validation you've been waiting for. You are the love you have been longing for. This doesn't mean you won't seek meaningful relationships, or that you won't want to share your life with someone who sees and appreciates you. But it does mean you no longer feel desperate for it. You stop placing your worth in the hands of someone else. You no longer wait for someone to complete you. Instead, you create relationships based on mutual respect, shared values, and a recognition of each other's wholeness. You no longer settle for anything less than what you deserve, because you know you deserve the best, simply because you are already whole. And here's the beauty of this truth. When you fully embrace that you are whole, you give others permission to do the same. You stop competing, you stop comparing, and you start celebrating the fullness in others. You start creating an energy of abundance, not scarcity. You recognize that there is more than enough love, peace, success, and joy to go around. You begin to release the need to fix people or situations because you realize that everyone has their own journey. Everyone is already whole, even if they don't know it yet. And by honoring your own wholeness, you help them see theirs. When you embrace your wholeness, you stop waiting for the perfect moment to start living. You stop putting off your happiness for tomorrow or for when you have the right job, the right partner, the right house. Instead, you embrace who you are today. You begin to live in the present moment, recognizing that you don't need a perfect future to feel worthy. You don't need a perfect relationship to feel loved. You don't need a perfect career to feel successful. You are already enough, and the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the belief that you are not. So stop waiting for something or someone to complete you. The completion you are searching for is already inside you. The love you seek is already yours. The peace you long for is already waiting to be embraced. The power to create the life you desire is already within your reach. The truth is, you are not the sum of what you have or who loves you. You are the sum of everything you have overcome, everything you've learned, and everything you've grown into. You are a beautiful, multifaceted, and powerful being, complete as you are. And when you live from this place of wholeness, everything shifts. Your relationships shift, your work shifts, your entire energy field shifts, because now you're not seeking to fill a void. You're living from abundance, and that, my friend, is the most powerful way to live. So if you ever feel like you're not enough, or like you need to be fixed, remind yourself of this truth. You are already whole. You are not missing anything. You are already everything you need to be.